Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome if you are new here. If you are not already subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it if you click that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, click that notification bell to know when I post next. If you like the videos that I post, please like, comment, share, and do all that stuff. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the topic that I want to talk about today. So today I'm kind of doing something a little bit different. Here is like a lunch that I've prepared. Sorry, I've just come back from the gym, actually a home gym, so I've been working out, getting that summer body ready. But a lot of people have asked me in the past, what is, and I don't want to turn this into like a mukbang, but mukbang, I think is how you say it. But people have always asked me to talk about why I am vegetarian or plant-based, as I like to call it. And there are a number of reasons, especially since I've been on the plant-based diet or like lifestyle for about 5 years now, because it's 2021 and I started when I was 26, 27, so around 2016. A lot of people have asked me what I eat on a plant-based diet, like how it affects me, is working out okay? There are a number of questions that people have asked me in the past, and I kind of wanted to go over the misconceptions of what being plant-based diet versus, I don't know what you'd call a normal diet. A lot of the times, a lot of people think that like you don't get enough protein, you don't get all these things, but we'll get into it. And first I want to start off for the reasons why I became plant-based. I have been on a plant-based diet, or I've had that plant-based lifestyle for about 5 years now, because it's 2021 and I started in 2016. And I remember that I watched this film. It was a Korean film with my ex-husband called Okja. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but that movie made me cry. I don't know if it was supposed to be to get people to realize like factory farming and how animals have emotion, but that movie destroyed me. It goes through the relationship of a young child and an animal, which is like a new animal. It's not like a cow or a pig or anything like that. It's kind of this mix between the two, and shows that they do have emotions, they do have feelings, they are intelligent. No spoilers or anything, even though it's not a spoiler, but I do suggest that you watch it, or one of those documentaries showing what actually happens when you eat meat, like where does it come from, how everything is involved. Because once you see that, I think you'll get a better perspective of like, would you do that yourself? And personally, the answer for me was no. I could not butcher an animal to eat. So after we watched that movie, I decided, okay, I don't want to eat meat anymore, or I want to start to try to only eat like certain meats. And before that, I never really ate red meat, I never ate steak. I'd only really eat chicken and turkey and all of those things. So it was really easy for me. And at the time I was still drinking milk products, I would have eggs, I would have fish, you know, like you go through that process of figuring out like, what does that really mean? Sorry, I should also eat, because it is kind of like a mukbang. And so after I thought about all those things, I'm like slowly becoming plant-based. I cut out all of those different meat products in my diet. I stopped drinking regular milk and milk products. I stopped getting like cream in my coffee. And this is a little bit more towards like plant-based, but I think I kind of switched between, I'm not fully vegan, but at the same time, I have a balance between what I'm eating for my body to make sure that I'm healthy and making sure that like I get all of the different things that I need. So one of the things that was really important to me was the health and respect for those animals that are being butchered and eaten. And a lot of people say like, well, you can do it humanely, but in my mind, would you want that to happen to you? Like, how could you humanely do that to another living creature? So that was number one for me. And then as I did more and more research, I found out that a lot of the people who are on plant-based diets had a lower risk of cancer, had a lower risk of any type of ailments. They were really living their best life and being really, really healthy. And so when people ask me for health reasons, why do I eat a plant-based diet? It's because I'm getting more fiber, lower risk of cancer. It helps me maintain a healthy weight. After I started going onto a plant-based diet, I still struggle with weight issues, but it really, really helped me not like gain weight, it really helped me maintain my weight. Like I've never been really fluctuating like I used to in my younger years, especially when I was eating like dairy and meat products. It's also supposed to reduce inflammation in your body. A lot of times when you eat those meats, some of them are carcinogens, and so it can really affect your immune system. It can affect how your body deals with it. I know that a lot of dairy products cause inflammation in the body, and a lot of bodybuilders try to stay away from dairy because it can cause a lot of problems. And I know that a lot of people will come back and say like, well, what about this? What about that? This is not a video to say you should do this. This is a video saying why I did this. I am not the type of person who lives a plant-based diet and says, oh, everyone has to live the same way I do. I am living for myself, for my health reasons, and this is what has worked for me over a long period of time. Another thing for me is that I have IBS, I have anxiety, I have a lot of stomach problems, or had a lot of stomach problems, and the minute that I started going towards a plant-based diet, my IBS cleared up. When I started focusing on the things that I was putting into my body, everything kind of changed for me, and I didn't feel sluggish, I didn't feel worn down. It really was a change to my health that I wasn't expecting, but it was a good added benefit for the main reason that I started was to protect animals and to think about my impact on the world. And before I continue on, let me talk a little bit about what I'm eating today for lunch. So I just worked out. I have brown rice and quinoa with black beans and spinach. And a lot of people say like, well, is that enough food? I track my food now because I'm trying to work on eating enough and trying to get those nutrients. Also, I have a banana. Tracking this right here, it has 30 grams of protein, which you wouldn't think like spinach has protein in it. I don't think that people realize that like where do animals get their protein from? They get it from plants, like cows eat grass or whatever kind of plants that they eat, and then that's translated into the protein that you eat. Really, when you're eating meat, you're getting the protein. I'll use the word vicariously, but that's, it's like a medium, which is the meat, when you could just go directly to the source, which is the plants. Another study or another thing that Americans don't know is that usually a lot of people are like, they don't have any nutritional deficiencies. A lot of people say like, oh, you need to get so much protein to get so much protein. But in reality, most Americans or most people don't get enough fiber. And so in here, there's at least 25 grams of your daily fiber as well, which is really important because it helps you maintain a healthy gut, a healthy body. And so, especially with me having IBS, regularly eating things that include insoluble and soluble fiber help me maintain a healthy gut, I guess. Another reason for me staying on the plant-based diet, after all those initial things that happened, was its impact on factory farming, how it affects the environment. You don't think about these things, but when you're not choosing meat products and you're not choosing to support these mega corporations for factory farming who might be polluting the environment, or, we're dealing with coronavirus right now, and who knows, when we talk about how diseases can come from animals, jump from, I think it's called zoonotic, when it jumps from animals to humans in those factory settings or in like really unsanitary settings. You can have a healthy balance between eating plant-based and maybe some dairy or maybe some egg. The egg industry is a whole other thing. The dairy industry is a whole other thing. As I continued living this plant-based food diet lifestyle, I didn't drink milk. I drink almond milk. I don't eat eggs. I'll have some dairy products here and there. I think I'm just trying overall to have a healthy balance and do the best that I can for my health and for the environment. Those are kind of the main reasons why I chose to start and stay on a plant-based diet. People call it a diet. It's more of a lifestyle. I really like it. I think there are a lot of misconceptions too. A lot of, things that you hear is like, you're not getting enough protein if you don't eat meat. Like I was saying before, people don't realize that the protein that you're eating in meat comes from the animals that eat those plants. So like spinach, leafy green vegetables, beans, lentils, brown rice, all of those things have a high protein content. And it's really rare for someone, unless you're bodybuilding or you have some kind of condition, it's really rare for someone to be protein deficient. Really, in America and across maybe the world, I'm not sure, but I know for America for certain, I think it's like a really high number where people are just are not getting enough daily fiber, and that increases your risk for colon cancer and other types of cancers within your body, because your gut really has a big impact on your immune system and whether or not you can fight off a lot of diseases. Another misconception is that people who are plant-based and people who call themselves vegan or vegetarian or like are always trying to get other people to become vegan or vegetarian. And while that's kind of a goal, you know, you want other people to be happy. You want other people to live like the best life that they can. You know, I'm not the type of person who is like, if you're not vegan, you're, you know, or you're not eating a plant-based diet, then you're just completely a horrible person. Everyone discovers what they want to do in life at different times, and maybe right now someone doesn't want to do that, but maybe 5 years from now someone's like, you know what, I'm gonna go try a plant-based diet. Or even if it's like 1 night a week or 2 nights a week and you work up, you know, small steps are always great. It doesn't have to be a complete transition. I think that when people transition or try to do it like that, they try to substitute the meat and things get crazy, and then they feel like they're limiting or lacking what they can eat. Which leads me to my next point. People think that when you are on a plant-based diet that it's always like those fake burgers or things are super expensive. But for me, meat and dairy and egg are like the #1 most expensive things that I would buy in the grocery store. Now I buy like brown rice, vegetables, beans, lentils, things like that. I'm not really buying stuff that's processed. I just buy the vegetables and things that I used to. I'm not substituting. I'm not actually taking like, oh, if this were to be meat, like let me try and mimic meat. Now that I've been a plant-based person for a long time, the smell and like taste and thought of meat actually is not something that I want to mimic. Now, that does not get into the people who go to like a grocery store and they don't have access to fresh ingredients or fruits or vegetables. It could just be like prepackaged items that don't have the ability to be like vegetarian or plant-based. I think there's a lot going on there and I won't get into it. If you want to become plant-based, just start eating vegetables, beans, and start eating things like that. You don't have to substitute with Beyond Burger or any kind of meat substitute. You can basically search online for items that are vegetarian or vegan, and it's just plants and vegetables, and those have high protein and fiber content, and you should be all set. Another thing that people say, or another misconception that people have, is that like, I'm not getting enough nutrients. I do take a daily supplement. I just take like a daily multivitamin. It really just helps me balance out my diet, even if I wasn't on a plant-based diet. I really like it just to add those extra like vitamins and stuff. I don't know if it actually does anything, but it makes me feel as if like I'm you know, it's a supplement. I'm supplementing the stuff that I'm already trying to do. I think the last misconception is about like working out, bodybuilding, or whatever you want to call it. I actually have a vegan protein powder that I really like. The one that I use is this one. It's backwards, but it's Organic Protein by Orgain. It's vegan, soy-free, gluten-free, non-GMO. I recommend this if you are lifting. The other one is, I don't have it, but it's like Vega is a really good brand. They just change up their products, but that's another misconception where you can't lift weights. Like, obviously, I consider myself fit and I have no problem gaining muscle or anything like that, even after being on a plant-based diet for however many years. The caveat to that is I don't work out like all the time. It hasn't been a main focus of mine, so don't look at me as an example for like, oh, his muscles aren't big enough or something like that, because I don't really try as hard as I probably should. So it's not the plant-based diet, because there are plenty of plant-based athletes out there. You just have to look for the right types of things, the right types of foods, and really consider what you're putting into your body, rather than just saying like, oh, I need to put in chicken because it's protein. So I didn't really talk about this before, but another reason why I am plant-based is because of the sickness that you can get from eating meat and other products. Yes, you can get salmonella and you can get E. coli from plants if they are contaminated, but there is a higher risk of foodborne illness from undercooked meats, non-pasteurized dairy, and other products than there is obviously with eating a plant-based diet. One of the other health benefits is not having to worry about whether or not I am cooking meat to a certain temperature and taking the risk of foodborne illness. It might be a small consideration for other people, but for me, superbugs, salmonella, and E. coli are a #1 thing that I'd like to avoid. So, sorry, I'm holding this banana. If you don't open up a banana like this, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. I always open up the banana from like this side, pinch and pull down, and then it's got like this nice little handle. Also for me, because I'm working out and I want to make sure that I'm getting enough food, I have a food kind of like a kitchen scale, and it's really nice because I just put everything on here and I can weigh and I can say not only am I getting the right types of foods, but I'm getting the right amount and I'm not overdoing it. It really helps me correct when I think I'm getting enough protein or enough fiber and I need to say like, oh, actually I need to like up it or whatever. The last misconception that I wanted to talk about is a lot of people think that a lot of stuff just isn't vegan or like plant, like they think that you just can't eat anything. Like you're literally just gonna eat beans and rice, but like you can have beer, you can have French fries. There's a very unhealthy way to be plant-based. I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. You can eat fresh fruits and vegetables, or you can eat things like French fries, like potato chips, maybe not Doritos, unless I don't know if the Cool Ranch is. I'm not sure. But I want to say that just because people are plant-based and they eat those things doesn't mean that people can come for them and say like, oh, see, it really isn't good for you. When you eat the right things and you put the right things in your body and you're concerned about your health, you're concerned about the environment, and you are concerned about other people and animals, then you're on your way to living a plant-based lifestyle. And for me, that's probably all the main reasons why I did it and why I continue to do it to this day. I know this video has gone on for a while. Now I'm eating a banana. I don't know if you want to see me eating a banana. Maybe you want to see me eating a banana. I hope that this video kind of explained the reasons why I chose a plant-based lifestyle, and maybe you learned something, maybe you have a different outlook and perspective, and maybe one night a week you can try to have a plant-based meal. Maybe you already are eating a plant-based meal. Whatever you decide, if you do decide to change the way that you're eating, or if you don't, hopefully this has been insightful to why I have, and hopefully more people will decide to choose these different options rather than just going to Burger King and eating a burger. I know that I haven't discussed all of the different racial and social inequities that could be associated with eating plant-based, how affordable it is, how low-income people might not be able to get to places where these things are available. That's for another video. I just wanted to discuss why I chose this and why it's beneficial for me. So hopefully, again, you've learned something, and yeah, thank you for watching. Remember, again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, click the notification bell. Please like, comment, and share this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, thanks, love you, bye.